Hey, good evening and welcome to the Almont Community Schools Board of Education work session on July 21st, 2026. We will call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Burrow, will you do roll call, please?
Ms. Rotarius?
Here.
Mr. Wade?
Here.
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Mr. Burrow? Here. Ms. Anthony?
Here.
Mr. Eckert?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
We have all 7 members present.
Thank you, Mr. Burrow. Adoption of the agenda. Mr. Wood, any additions?
We do have a couple additions tonight. Under communications, we would like to add I for a GSRP update. So again, under communications, add I for a GSRP update. Under the building and site, we'd like to add 6, an OP heat tape update. Under C, for the policy committee, we have 1 additional resignation. And under C, new hires, we have 1 additional tonight as well. That's it.
Any deletions?
Done.
Amendments?
Done.
Okay. This will bring us to our first questions and comments from the audience pertaining to anything on the agenda. Would anybody in the audience like to be recognized at this time?
No questions.
Thank you. This will bring us to communications. Mr. Wood.
All right, we've got a variety of topics tonight. The first one is the 90-day plan, so I just wanted to provide a quick update. I've been in the district now for 21 days, and we've made a lot of progress. I do have my 90-day plan that I keep above my desk to make sure I'm checking some things off and recording some progress. But so far, it's been a great, warm welcome from the Almont community. So I feel like it's important to recognize that, and the staff that I've worked with so far has been awesome as far as providing knowledge of the district. You can just tell they're here for the best interest of students. So that's been very positive. We've been able to accomplish a few of these tasks on here. Was able to meet with Ms. Vaughn, Ms. Merrifield, as well as individual meetings with all of the board members so far. Able to complete a district facility tour with Mr. Frederick as well. And now we're in the process of finalizing a welcome letter to the community. We sent one to staff already, and we're reviewing contracts and analyzing some staffing needs as well. So we're definitely getting into it now, which is good. So far, the main focus, though, has been on people, right? We've been busy going through the hiring process for the OP principal, as well as the high school principal. And while this has been a time-consuming process, it has also been a good process for me to meet quite a few staff members already. So that's been a plus. Another focus has been on facilities and starting to gain a greater understanding of our current and future needs. And then my number 1 contact so far has been Ms. Merrifield, so thank you for your patience as we've discussed a variety of topics so I can gain a greater understanding of our budgetary and financial needs as well. And then finally, I'd like to give one last thank you to Ms. Lebrowski, as she's been assisting me as my administrative assistant, is stepped away or has resigned, and so I wanted to publicly thank her as well because she's been helping out with taking on more than her role to make sure we're still making progress. So, but overall, it's been a very positive and busy start. So, thank you. The next one, high school dean of students. So this has been a topic that's been on my radar kind of since we came in. We know that the athletic director and that VP or dean of students and athletic director can be a challenging role as you're pulled in multiple directions, late nights, early mornings, that kind of thing. So we considered a variety of options, including staying with that current role, it being a shared position, splitting them into an assistant principal and AD, and then also looking at it split into AD and then a dean of students. We believe the best decision is to make that role separate, making just an AD position and then a dean of students for the high school. We feel like this will allow Mr. Zimmerman to focus solely on athletics And then we'll be able to support the new incoming principal with a full-time dean of students at the high school. So, that's my dean of students update. Next one, emergency operations. Stop me anytime with questions, please. Emergency operations plan update. The state passed some new language last year requiring districts to use standardized language when an incident takes place. I'm starting the process of updating that language and moving our emergency operations plan into the state template. This will be quite a lengthy procedure. Our current EOP is about 80 some pages, so it'll be a pretty big undertaking to move this over. So we're starting on that as well.
Mr. Wood?
Yeah.
I think it was the board's understanding that the previous superintendent had been doing quite a bit in the last few months of work on the EOP with our local police force in other districts, I believe. Was that communicated?
Yep, I've got some of those files. I want to work, and we've already been talking about then once we get it completed, how that training is going to roll out to staff. So yes, I'm in the process of digging into some of those files.
Yeah.
But we're planning on using the state template, yes.
Thank you.
Yep. Moving on to D, the coroner grant update. So this is a donation that Ms. Van Hiltmeyer and I discussed upon my arrival. I'm in the process of gathering more information from the committee. And it sounds like they met with Ms. Coroner in June. I believe you were on that, right?
Mr. and Mrs.
Yep. And so I have a meeting set up with Ms. Kendall tomorrow, who's on the committee, just to start to gather more information about it. And it sounds like they're planning on coming in the fall to see their donations.
They're
And
very interested in, seeing kind of the fruits of their donations and seeing students in action. Yeah, they are.
And it sounds like could be some donations in the future, so we're excited to partner with them.
Yeah, we still have to, use what we've been given and use it wisely and what it was given for. And we have to do our part and be transparent about it and communicate.
So we're looking forward to, continuing that process with them. As far as a vacancy update, we currently have our facilities director position open. We're in the process of posting this position. We're planning to post it through July 31st and tentatively have interviews scheduled for August 3rd. I would like to try to put that first interview date on the posting just so when candidates apply, they know when to expect and plan for. We also have an open first grade position. I'm in the process of analyzing our student and staff ratios to determine the direction that we want to take with that position. And then we also have a middle school special education position open. It sounds like this was a position that was open most of last year and it's been very challenging to fill. The good news is I'm meeting with a candidate tomorrow that Ms. Lewis has recommended to fill the position. So hopefully we'll be able to get that position filled soon.
Is this a direct hire or contract?
No, this would be a direct hire certified teacher, yes. Non-homestead renewal update. As we all know, August 4th is quickly approaching. We've utilized a variety of means to communicate with the community, emphasizing that this renewal provides funding for classroom instruction, student support services, school safety and security, transportation and technology, extracurricular and athletic opportunities, and building operations and maintenance. All the information is posted on the district website and a mailer was sent home. I have met with the Tri-City Times and the county press to discuss the renewal, and also President Smith provided additional information to them as well. In the coming days and weeks, we plan to reshare the videos on our social media platforms and to send a message to the community with a link to the website again. So, and I actually met with Mr. Allen today, and we've got a plan to have those videos reposted as we lead up to that August 4th. Next one, AEA and pair negotiations. So both groups have reached out to me, and we have our first meeting set up with both groups in early August. So I'll continue to keep the board updated on that process. And then our other bargaining group is the secretarial group, and their contract doesn't expire until July of 2027. So we've got a year on that. And that's it for me.
Mr. Wood?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a follow-up, just like on the vacancy updates. Do we have an update on the high school secretary?
We haven't done a ton with that position yet. We were trying to get the principals in first, the administrative assistant to me, and that's next on the, that's next on our list, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, good point. I did miss that one. Thank you.
Board of Education updates. Today was the final day to put in for a Board of Education seat. I'm happy to state that we have the full 5 seats have candidates for them, and it was all of the board members. So thank you to everyone who put your name on the ballot. We greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to the next couple of years working with everybody.
To our addition here, a GSRP update. So this is one that has kind of quickly risen up the priority list. I wanted to start with a little bit of background information. So we currently offer 2 GSRP classrooms, one at the OP and then one at the middle school. And we have 20 students in each. Each class has a lead teacher and then 2 aides. We also have 1 class of tuition-based preschool at the OP, which has 21 students. The challenge we're facing is that we currently have 19 families that would like to have their children attend our early childhood programming, but unfortunately we don't have the spaces available. So at this point, we're seeing if the possibility of a 3rd GSRP classroom, if it can be added for the upcoming school year. So I want to emphasize that we're seeing if this is a possibility. We brought the team together multiple times already, and we're having an appointment with Catherine, who will look at our licensing, and we've got a class that we're looking at here at the middle school. So we're making as much progress on this as quickly as we can. I can't guarantee that we'll be able to do it, but obviously that is our hope to be able to do that for this year. If we can't, then we definitely want to have that 3rd classroom in place for the next school year.
Mr. Wood, so you said there's a classroom here that could be?
Yeah, there's not any rooms open at the OP, so if we are able to add another GSRP room, it would have to be here. And she's coming to inspect the room tomorrow.
But that would displace something else that's in there?
Correct. We're still working through that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one has come on the radar rather quickly, just as we realize there's 19 families that would like to join, be a part of our early childhood.
Sure.
Mr. Wu. Yep.
Are these Almont families, these 19 families?
So I don't know exactly if they're all Almont families. I think a lot of them would be school of choice. So placement is determined on your Almont residency first, and then your income levels for GSRP. And so that determines the placements. And then from there, you've got your school of choice that are outside that would like to attend our program. So, obviously we want to bring in.
So the 2 classrooms we currently have are Almont families, and if there's people in the waiting list that are Almont.
As far as I understand, yes. There may be some school or choicers after, if all the Almont families have been placed in there already. I didn't get into the details on that. My bigger focus has been on trying how do we speed this up as much as we can to try to get a 3rd classroom. But yes, Almont in district are given priority based on income levels. Good question.
Is that your question?
Mr. Wood, so how would we furnish the room that we want? Because we don't have early childhood, any extra early childhood furniture, correct?
Correct. So and Ms. Merrifield is in these meetings with us.
Okay.
And we've got money that in our early childhood, we've got some rollovers from last year that we can use to furnish and get this started. So,
Okay.
and to me, this is an investment in our students and our future. So, and we've got the money to be able to do it. But this is something I feel like just, if we can do it, we need it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
This will bring us to committees. So we'll go to curriculum. And just as a reminder, Mrs. Rotarius is the chair of curriculum with Mr. Burrow and Mrs. Ainsley.
Curriculum, we have summer school going on, so I wanted to provide a quick update on that. Summer school runs from July 6th through the 30th at the OP and middle school. We have a total of 104 students participating in grades K through 8. Students are in attendance Monday through Thursday from 8 to 12:30 with transportation provided as well as breakfast and lunch. Students receive instruction in ELA and math and also have a 15-minute recess break. Pre and post assessments are given to each student to monitor their progress during the session. I was over there this morning again, and overall things are going well. Students are excited to be learning, and teachers are teaching. It's going good.
Great. Seems like great attendance. I like to hear that.
Yep.
Thank you. Real Basic Building and Site, and Mr. Furrow is the chair for that with Justin Burns and Mrs. Rotarian.
We wanted to provide a track update. So last week, the asphalt company came out to mill down the areas and patch of spots retaining water. And the track company will be out to test the water flow this week, they said, and they were going to do that before applying any latex or repainting the track. So they could have been here today, it would have been perfect. But so there, I will keep the board updated on that. Number 2, summer cleaning. So the custodial crew is making good progress on getting buildings prepped for the upcoming year. OP has been completely cleaned, and they will do touch-ups at the end of summer. The high school, they're finishing up the high school this week. When I talked to her this morning, they've got, I think, a hallway of floors left to wax. And then the middle school is next up with anticipated cleaning time of about 2 weeks. And they leave themselves about a 2-week window before school starts just to do touch-ups and get back in each building. So overall, summer cleaning seems to be on schedule. C, the fob project. So at the central office and high school, we needed to add a fob reader to the outside doors. Currently, they're on the inside of the vestibule. We wanted to move them to the outside. So when community members come up, they'll now, once this project is completed, they'll ring the bell outside and then be let into the vestibule. And we also needed to add at the OP in middle school the push buttons in the office to unlock the doors. So we are in the process of finalizing this project. And as far as I know, it should be ready to start the school. Wi-Fi update. So they have completed terminating the ends at the middle school and are almost done at the OP. They're moving on to the high school next. Once they are finished terminating the ends, they will start to set the access points. We were able to get a few of these installed, but now we're waiting on more of them to ship, and we're hoping to have that completed by the start of the school. Keep you updated on that as well.
Is there any issue if it's not completed by the start of school?
No, he didn't, in talking to Mr. Markland, it didn't sound like there was, he thinks it would be okay. I think he thinks we have enough, and that work can be done on nights and weekends as well. So. And then, building and site committee meeting update. The committee met tonight at 5, and we talked about a variety of topics for facilities. We talked about our facilities list, kind of seeing what needs we have at that on our prioritized list. We talked about many of the things we just talked about here actually tonight.
Starting a committee of members to talk about identifying building priorities. If there are anything that's not on our list, that should be on our list, because we're still operating off of the Martin Mallow and the Ron Selly list. Mainly, so just making sure we identify everything as well. And then we talked about getting the football field painted with the uprights and the equipment out there. It's very rusty and old, and we've got a brand new track, and we should get that up to par. We went over the list for Mr. Zimmerman, had the presentation he did for us here. With that list of athletics, so we went over that, and Mr. Wood had a great meeting with him and set him up on trying to identify a couple of things that he can knock off the list every year, and then working it into his budget for the year to get that and reporting back. So that was really good to hear. We talked about the fob. We talked about doing the low-hanging fruit from that Verigy bond that we looked into a while back, like the LED lighting. Hey, we could probably change it all for $90,000 and save $30,000, $40,000 a year in our electric bill. We talked about the water heater involved with that process as well. Just like energy, we can save energy conservation. And then that is, and then the last thing was the grant that Mr. Wood let us know about that we qualified for. I didn't write down what number it was.
It's the 12E energy grant, and I think it was $322,000.
332.
Yeah, 320.
And
32 or 20?
332.
332.
And so that money is it was applied for very specific things to do with heating controls and heating efficiency. So we have to do those things with that money. And we talked about waiting until a new facilities manager came on board to start tackling that project once we received the grant. So.
Is there a timeline on how long we have to spend that? Just a year or?
2027.
Mr. Wood, just so we can give some recognition, who applied for that grant?
I think it was.
Was it Kathy?
And Jason,
And Jason.
I pushed Jason and pulled Adam in.
Yeah, thank you.
We collaborated.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Can I ask a clarifying question, Mr. Carroll?
Absolutely.
For the low hanging, or the things for the athletics, was there anything that would be identified that could be done this summer or no? Or would that list that?
Yeah, so the tennis courts, and Mr. Wood's got to verify with Jason and see what the new course going on, but like they wanted it sprayed for weeds. As far as we know, it hadn't been done yet. So getting that update for getting that done, that was one of the easy ones. And then there was the baseball fields they were looking at. There was a few grand to properly irrigate the fields. And I don't know if they wanted to do that now that baseball's done or so yeah, that was roughly the for this year.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then F is the OP heat tape incident. So just to give a little background on this, on July 5th, as teachers were preparing for summer school, they noticed a burning smell and contacted our facilities director. After arriving, he agreed that the smell was out of the ordinary and called 911 to have the fire department dispatched. Upon completing the inspection, it was determined that a heat tape wire had shorted or burned, causing the smell. We would like to thank both the Almont and Emily City Fire Departments for assisting. And since that time, the representatives from the restoration company ServPro were out to assess the needs at Orchard Primary. And then SETSAG is reaching out to ServPro as well to let them know when they can begin cleaning. We do still have the area blocked off and marked as they want no one in there, no one touching anything obviously, and remain untouched while we're waiting for the engineers to determine the cost. More to come on that for sure.
Can I ask a clarifying question on that?
Sure.
Will that be taken care of before the first day?
I'm hoping so. We haven't really got any timelines. I know ServPro was planning to come in and do like a soot test just to clean the areas around there to make sure they were good. But I haven't got any updates as far as when they're coming out to determine the cause and then the plan moving forward. So once I have those, I will share with the board.
And that was outside in the ceiling of the vestibule, basically?
Yeah, it was in the vestibule area. Yeah, it was the heat tape wrapped around, and I think that when it shorted, it burned some insulation that was touching it, and so.
Just so people know, like, there's nothing inside the building or anything
No,
like that?
no. The teachers that had smelled it burning were in the media center, which is basically right next door. Yeah.
Is there a clarifying question? Do we have more of that in the building?
So that's a good question, and Mr. Frederick turned those off. I believe he said, so yeah, good point. Yeah, he did turn the rest of the heat tape off.
Thank you.
In line of that question, since Mr. Frederick is leaving, that heat trace is important, so make sure that we get it on the list of turning it back on before winter.
Yeah.
And there's ice, because I can see that very easily being forgotten when the new facilities manager comes on board and doesn't know that. So, yeah, good point.
Okay, that'll bring us to policy, which Adam is the chair, and then Wade and myself.
All right, so resignations. So unfortunately, we did have 3 resignations. I'll read through the fact sheet here. So we got resignation, retirement, and personnel. Reason for consideration by the Board of Education. The Board of Education may agree to a resignation retirement at any time after a replacement suitable to the school administration and the board is obtained, provided that the circumstances underlying the resignation retirement are valid in the opinion of the board and warrant such a search for replacement. So we got some facts here. We had 3 resignations this month. One was Mr. Jason Frederick, who was our facilities and maintenance director. The second was Miss Gina Schwake. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Who was a first grade teacher. And then the third was Miss Stephanie Howey, who was our director of student success. Read over.
Yep.
Okay. And then we're on to new hires. So So approval of personnel, reason for consideration by the Board of Education. The Board of Education approves all personnel new hires. Mr. Spear is pleased to recommend Audrey Medoff as a new social studies teacher at the high school. She joins the team as a brand new teacher. We look forward to welcoming her to the Raider family. Mr. Spear is also recommending Michael Rose as the second social studies teacher at the high school. Mr. Rose comes with experience teaching high school social studies, and we are excited to welcome him to the high school team. I'm happy to be recommending Tanya Phillips as the Orchard primary principal. We had a large committee of teachers, office staff, building administrators, and a board member participate in 2 interviews, with the second round interview including a staff meeting style presentation on a literacy skill. Ms. Phillips comes with 20-plus years of educational experience, and we're excited to welcome her to our team. I'm happy to recommend Ron Jacobs as the high school principal. We again had a large interview committee of teachers, building administrators, and a board member participate in the 2 interviews, with the second interview including a first 90-day presentation. Mr. Jacob comes with multiple years of experience as a building administrator, and we are excited to welcome him to our team. And finally, I'm happy to recommend Courtney Howley as the Administrative Assistant Director of Pupil Accounting. Ms. Howley has extensive experience in the position, and we believe she will be an excellent addition to the central office team. Ms. Record. All right. I'm sorry, I have one more, my fault. This was the addition, I apologize. So this is approval of a non-representative contract. So the board approves the employment contracts of all personnel. We have multiple staff members that are not part of any collective bargaining agreements and thus have individual contracts with the Board of Education for duties to which they are assigned. The recommended compensation package has been discussed, reviewed with the Board Finance Committee. This is for Mr. Zimmerman. All right, if I agree. Oh. Okay. By committee. Okay. Now I think you're up.
A clarifying question. So does this contract reflect the potential split with in the OPD or with the high school dean students as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're into finance, which Karen Ray and then Mr. Burns and myself are on the committee. This is Mary.
Number 1 is our famous check pull. So if anyone has any questions or checks they would like to pull.
I can ask one.
Yeah.
Honestly, Mrs. Merrifield, I struggled I kind of just picked a random one because it's gotten very clear to me what's what here, but how about 47612? Line 6.
To Gex Genesee, that is for Gex coaches.
So is this for like a group of coaches, like your spring coaches?
A big old invoicing breakdown on, let's see, varsity baseball, varsity girls tennis, JV baseball, so yes, baseball, golf, soccer.
Okay, so
Etc.
yeah, thank you.
Mr. Burns,
That was it for me.
Mrs. Smith. Still looking?
Go ahead, Mr. Ray.
47666.
Great Lakes Recreation for $704. This is for OP88 swing playground.
it a replacement or repair?
It is, let's see. I believe it's a replacement, yeah. It's a new swing. The notes just say ADA swing for playground for Jason. Okay.
I did get one. Did you guys say 47658?
No.
It looks like it's a bunch of locksmith. Is that Bob stuff?
FedEx locksmith. I believe that's remove door closer, shim existing hinges, door closers leaking, need replacement. So that's for actual door repair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Wood, just a general guideline for our finance committee, when we do our check pulls, we do at least 2 a month so that it helps with our audit.
Okay.
I do have a follow-up question, actually, just to bring to light. In the past, we did our door replacements last summer before. We had stickers in the windows before that would notify community that when they're walking into the building that they are being recorded with the video system. I don't think we replaced the door, the entire shell, but I don't think we replaced the stickers.
Oh.
So that would be something we need to replace. Next is financial statements. Any questions? Take a minute to look at the account balances.
Good.
And I'll take a minute to look over the student activity funds.
Same.
I do have one. The track balance is not supposed to be that. So there are some outstanding bills that should have been paid a while ago. So that we followed up to keep that accurate.
I know Zach had emailed us something about an invoice he had given the athletic director secretary at the time that didn't get to central office. So that one is included, and that was for track jackets, I believe.
There's another one, should be about 6,000 or 7,000 that.
Yes. So they're taking care of that one. We just didn't get it.
On to the budget update, Mrs. Merrifield.
Okay, this is referring to the state budget that was passed on July 3rd. Some highlights are as follows. There was passed a $10,300 foundation allowance, which is an increase of $250. The weighted foundation allowance with a 20% increase over fiscal year 26 funding for at-risk and EL. 3-year average student count. At a state budget level-wise, $150 million for education compensation was passed, which was our section 27L. So that is coming back again this year. There's increases to special education, CTE, isolated districts early on in adult education. There's continued funding for transportation and increase to bus driver training funds. Continued free breakfast and lunch. There are some 31AA slight changes. Funding is divided now into 2 buckets, mental health and school safety. There's a $50 million, the language didn't really change that much, so we'll have to talk about that later. $50 million for high impact tutoring delivered through competitive grants from MDE. 10% increase to GSRP foundation allowance. Restored previously eliminated programs like early learning partnerships, 10 cents a meal, My STEM, My MTSS, literacy essentials. There was a $75 million for LETRS training for K through 5 educators. Section 35M, literacy supports. There was $50 million allocated, MDE limited to 15 approved instructional material providers. And the MIPSERS rates remain unchanged from fiscal year 26 to 27. And those are the highlights.
Mr. Wade? Mrs. Merrifield, for 31AA, do we have to make a decision at some point again about whether we're going with 31AA or not, like we did last year? Like, is there a deadline for that?
There will be an opportunity to opt in or out, and it's usually in the fall.
Okay.
I don't think a set deadline has been made yet. I think there's still controversy over the language.
Yeah. Thank you.
So with the two buckets, is your understanding right now, you could opt in for one bucket but not the other potentially?
Yes, I'll read to you the language for the safety and security portion. It still identifies a mass casualty event is any of the following. Significant physical injury to 3 or more people, where significant physical injury means an injury that involves a risk of death, significant physical pain, protracted and obvious disfigurement, or a protracted loss or impairment of the function of a bodily member, organ, or mental or sensory faculty. So they really get very descriptive in identifying the mass casualty portion of that language.
There is some consideration. I believe there will be a little bit of separation as far as, looks like they might give us some money per pupil for student mental health, and then the other allocation is kind of, you'd have to agree to those. So we're still gathering information if we can get one without the other, or if they're a combo, but you have to agree to that language. So that actually, we just sent out some information by Troon, so we'll keep the board updated on that as well.
Ms. Merrifield, did they give you specific updates yet on the 3-year average? What has been done for that? Does it include this year? Is it the last 3 years?
There are some calculators going out. Most have adopted the past 3 years fall count. A lot have adopted the 3-year membership on our state aid reports. So it's not clearly defined yet. And there might be other ins and outs that go with that.
Can you, I'm sure when you get your grant sheet all there and then that one, I thought that was very helpful actually, you had a little, maybe that,
I was going to present that to the finance committee meeting when we meet, and then I was going to do it first and then to the board. Does that sound okay?
Okay, up next. Bank account signatures. Oh, sorry, did I jump the gun?
No, other than we don't need to borrow.
Okay, I just
So, yeah.
want to make sure that was so.
Yeah, I did a cash flow analysis, and that will be watched very carefully and monitored. As everyone may or may not know, we don't receive any funding in September. So I have a plan to get us through October. So we should be just fine.
Thank you. Very good.
Nope, you're okay. Last time there was that bit of silence, it was because people were waiting on me, so I thought we were no worries, no worries. Okay, so bank account signatures. So fact sheet, approve removal of officials to sign checks. The Board of Education approves personnel to sign checks as part of policy 0154. So we've got multiple accounts, internal and athletic accounts. We've had a changeover in personnel and need to update the signer for these internal accounts. And there's a variety of them, and all the adjustments are indicated on the attached document. And the last one, we wanted to have Mr. Markland join us to talk about our Chromebook plan for the upcoming school year.
Yes, I just have a couple slides if you can hear me.
We can hear you. We're getting the video queued up.
Perfect. All right. So, like I said, just a couple of slides, not too much of your time today. Rather than a district-wide refresh, we have a new plan of replacing certain grades every year for student Chromebooks. Kindergarten through fourth, we would just pick one grade a year and replace that. So it would be a 5-year rotation by the time they get replaced again. And then we would replace 5th grade and 9th grade every year. So 5th grade would take theirs all the way through 8th grade, 4 years. Then 9th grade, they get a new one for the 4 years of high school. Included in this too, we were developing a staff plan for device rotation. This one is a bit more complicated, but we had to basically just pick groups to replace every year for a 5-year rotation. So for 3 of the years, we'll replace OP teacher laptops, MS teacher laptops, and HS teacher laptops. Year 4, we would do central office, district level employees, and building administrators. And year 5, we would do all desktops. So with that in mind, this summer, we wouldn't be able to follow the plan exactly. We really have to replace 3rd and 4th grade. They're the oldest in the district at about 7 or 8 years. And they are physically falling apart. Batteries are swelling, which is an explosion risk. Hardware is failing rapidly. We have Chromebooks dying left and right every day. And then we would also replace 9th grade to start that planned rotation. So we'd be looking at 374 Chromebooks for a total of just under $142,500. And I'm still waiting on a quote for the teacher laptops that I mentioned, but I'm estimating right around $25,000 for those. Any questions?
Mr. Markland, this is Mr. Burns here. What if somebody needs something replaced, like a staff member needs a machine replaced out of rotation? What's our plan to handle that?
We have 2 options. One's built in, as I always build in a 10% spare ratio, so we should always have 10% more devices than we need, both for students and staff. If for some reason we run out of those, we could always purchase an out-of-rotation replacement of the same model. That wouldn't be a massive expense.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Markland, this is Mrs. Smith. For the staff ones that need to be replaced, how old are they right now, the ones that they have, or is there in a wide variety?
The Chromebooks?
Yeah.
The oldest are 3rd and 4th grade. They're about 7 or 8 years. Kindergarten through 2nd are 6 or 7 years, and then 5th through 12th are 4 years old.
Sorry, like the staff ones, how old are the staff?
Staff one, if I remember correctly, I want to say 6 years on laptops.
That's pretty long. That's pretty long.
Really well, I'm just getting, like, I'm a little bit concerned, like, if we're, like, it could take that many years to get to high school or to get into 10-11-year-old laptop.
Yeah, like
Right.
Mr. Markland, I guess the concern is, like, if we're waiting 3-4 years to do high school and central office, like how old are those now? Like, are those in decent shape?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them, not so much. They're definitely showing their age. There is the option of replacing all laptops at once. All laptops would cost right around or a little above $100,000. Desktops we just replace, so we don't have to worry about those.
Is there a way that we could do for the staff plan, instead of doing like only OP, only at like, could you split it between all the buildings and like grab the oldest ones?
Yeah, I mean, could we
year
do just like
one,
an age-based plan? Like,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
sometimes, like, corporate world or whatever, right? Like, the laptop, individual machines are on typically like laptops 3, maybe 4-year rotation, and then they get replaced. It really doesn't matter what department you're in. It's more about the age of the machines.
If you wait like all the way
Yeah.
to like high school, you're gonna have 9, 10 how
Yeah.
can we expect our teachers to be cutting edge if they don't have what they need?
Yeah, we did talk about doing it similar to like a grade level or department level need, but as we got into the weeds of that, it got a little challenging as far as like knowing and picking and choosing. So we did talk about that a little bit. I mean, we can go that route. This was just a little cleaner, but I mean, something that we can consider because you do bring up a good point.
If we went age-based, would we be looking at like, I mean, do we have a significant population of staff laptops that are beyond that 4-year mark? No.
Most of them are beyond 4 years, but also most of them are the same model, so they'll all be the same age.
Chime in a little. Back in 21, we replaced all staff laptops with the same model. Throughout the years, we've had to replace a few here and there, at most 10.
Something to consider. I think, I was just saying, something to consider with the staff.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
staff might be
that
different
would
than
work
than-
for it.
Yep.
I don't want somebody, like, if you're in the OP, let's say you just got a new one 4 or 5 years ago, but then you're in the high school and you're having to spend 18, I think we need to look at it.
Yeah, based on age.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
we
my
can take a look.
opinion. I don't
I
know.
would agree.
Sure.
And Mr. Markman, the numbers there, I mean, as far as that rotation, that would give us roughly about the same cost though, if we did it a different way, right?
Yeah, the number of devices won't change, just where they're purchased or what year they're purchased in.
Okay.
Yeah, you maybe do 5, there would be 5,
Yeah.
whatever, it's
Yeah.
just more so that people who have the oldest equipment are starting to get them new stuff.
Yep, makes sense. We can look at that.
Thank you.
Are we ready for the fact sheet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Everybody's good. I don't want to.
And what, clarifying question, the hard question. So we went a whole year, we were going to lease them. What was the main driver behind switching from leasing, which the past administration thought was the right decision, and now we're going to buy? Like, what was our thought process behind that?
That was a recommendation from the previous superintendent and IT director. Mr. Markland, maybe you can speak more on that?
Yeah, originally the plan was to not lease, but to finance all the Chromebooks, which was a little over 1,500 of them. So we would still be buying them and owning them at the end, but we'd be paying a bank to finance that purchase.
And, I mean, if I could, Mr. Wood came in with, he's had success previously with doing a rotation schedule like this and felt like it worked really well. And so the timing just kind of worked out that we didn't pull the trigger on it and we took another look at it and said, yeah, maybe that does make.
Okay, so do we feel more confident with this route than we did with the previous route from the finance place point of view?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This allows them to be ours, and Mr. Wood and I had a discussion about it, maintenance of these batteries and, like,
Okay.
part them out and use these and stuff like that.
And
Right,
those-
that's how you explain it to me.
Yeah, and it allows us to budget each year with that expense rather than every 5 years having a big expense.
Right.
So we can budget that in. I mean, we know next year, depending on the costs they go up, we don't have to buy covers this year, which we'll have to add for 5th and 9th grade in future years, so that'll bump the cost up. But we may have to adjust that budget amount up for the covers and then the increased cost of the Chromebooks. But it gives us a pretty good indicator of where we're gonna be each year, so we can budget accordingly.
All right, perfect.
Any other clarifying questions? More questions from Glenn? No, Mr. Regan. I just took over.
You want me to go over the fact sheet?
Fact sheet, yep.
Yeah, still need the fact sheet.
Yep.
All right, approval of Chromebook purchase, policy 6320, purchasing requires amounts over $31,321 to be approved by the Board of Education. Facts, for the 26-27 school year, we plan to replace the 3rd and 4th grade devices, as they were the oldest in the district, as well as 9th grade. Total cost, as Mr. Markman said, $142,456. If approved, we would order them right away to hopefully have them here by the start of the school year. And then current, just so everyone's aware, the current 3rd and 4th Chromebooks will be used for repairs and other devices as needed. And the current 9th grade Chromebooks will be distributed to the larger 5th grade group and kept for spares. And then in future years, we plan to annually replace the 5th and 9th in a grade level at the OP. One addition would be noted that this year we have Chromebook covers already in the district for 9th grade. In future years, both 5th and 9th grade will need the Chromebook covers.
Question.
Yes.
Are we not covering the staff on this recommendation?
We didn't have a quote yet,
We didn't.
so we couldn't bring it.
Okay.
We wanted to get the Chromebooks purchased as soon as
So we'll
possible.
have to
so-
approve that separate.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Mr. Markland and I talked about that, and he thinks we're okay to start the school year. That's something we can do as the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Good, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Markland.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that'll bring us to questions and comments from anybody in the audience who'd like to be recognized.
Just a couple. I noticed the building and site, you talked about the football field and stuff like that. Did Zach talk to you about or ask about the PA system out there? It's needed either some repairs or whatever. Some of the speakers were shot.
I've been saying that for a year, so we will get that on
Yeah.
together.
And the other thing is it became an issue last year with the kids kicking more and more. We used to have extensions on those posts so that, you know, you could actually, the
Oh,
referees
make
could
them
actually
higher.
see.
Okay.
Because we actually lost some field goals and points last year because they couldn't see it. They
It
said-
wasn't against Croswell.
I
No,
don't
he
know.
posted the score. He posted the score. I talked about
Croswell, you know, we don't.
Yeah, no, you
take
handled
care
it.
of
Yeah.
Russ, we make a note of that? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Good job, and I'm glad that everybody re-upped again. I think that's important for this board, so thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the Board of Education?
Mrs. Smith. In terms of the extensions, they are still laying by the fence line by the concession stand, between the concession stand and the
Oh, for the
tennis
park.
courts. So they're on the ground, so we don't have to purchase them, we just have to reattach and secure them
And paint them.
and paint.
And paint them.
I heard Mr. Wade volunteered to shimmy up the pole.
Any other questions or comments from the Board of Education?
I'm happy that everybody that's up for reelection is decided to move forward. I think we're a well-organized operating board, and so I appreciate everybody signing up to go around again.
Ms. Smith.
Ms. Burrow.
I just wanted to reconfirm about CKLA, knowing that the process was hurried because of the state's requirement for us to file within like 3 weeks. I just want to make sure that we're confident that with the new principal and now Ms. Howard leaving, that our teachers are going to have the support they need when we go on to CKLA. So, just want to reaffirm that, maybe talk to the staff. I know they were a little bit nervous about it as they were learning about it. They had to reconfigure their classrooms in a different format than they have now, just to make sure that we're going forward and we don't lose any of our momentum over there. So,
Yep. I know I know the teachers already had some professional development last year. We've got professional development scheduled for August 20th. I saw the materials were in the library during our interviews. So I think as far as having things in place, I think the transition is happening and is in a good place. It's always a little apprehensive, right, when you're switching that curriculum, especially with the success we've had. But that is a curriculum that is on the state list as far as approved curriculums. So I'm guessing that's part of the reason that those adjustments were made, but something I'll look into for sure.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
And just a quick note on the curriculum, the recommendation for the OP principal, she seemed very open to jumping in as soon as possible with that new curriculum.
Okay. Yep. And she's a former literacy coach too. So.
She is, so she did speak on that as part of her presentation, which was received very well.
Just to ask, did she happen to have seen it before or not?
Yeah. You don't remember that? Okay.
I do think part of her staff presentation, she has seen it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, she has.
Okay, that's good news. Good news.
Mrs. Smith, I don't remember if we mentioned that. Do we have official start dates for the two principals?
After they get hired on Monday night at the regular meeting.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they will start,
They would,
August 1st.
3 weeks before, so it's usually at the beginning of August.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then your administrative assistant is starting next week.
Yes, starting next week, Monday is when we will be agreed upon, pending, obviously, work.
Any other questions or comments?
Mrs. Smith?
That's right.
Mr. Wood, with the resignation of the Director of Student Success at the AOP, might be good to talk with the staff there if there was any gaps. We had her, and I can't remember the other part of that team.
This is personnel.
Yes. If there's anything that needs to be added to that description for the hiring posting, to raise the cost, lower the cost to whatever, to make sure we're covering all the things that we need to have done at that position.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Any comments?
Since we are purchasing only part of the Chromebooks that we anticipated, does that change the budget line that we don't need that full? Or since we were releasing prior, it we kind of stay the same?
No, with what we have purchased, or the planned purchase of the Chromebooks and the roughly 25,000 we're thinking for staff devices will be just a touch under what we had budgeted, which is why I wanted to make sure the board was aware when we start adding covers next year that it'll be a little more, plus you'll have some sort of increase for Chromebook cost more than likely. So, but it will come just under that amount. The budget amount worked out really well. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your
No, it's good. Go for it. You can steal it anytime.
We do want to talk about, you and I talk about as far as finance stuff, do you want to do that?
I do. I think since we're all going to be on the board again, my weakest link is finance and understanding the school finance. I spoke with Jeanette, Mr. Wood, probably several other people on this board, trying to understand things. And it's just, I was asking if we could do like a workshop one day with anybody from the board who wanted to do it. And explain line by line how the funds go and how they go through the lines. And then my other question is, the board's responsible for finance, policy, hiring of the superintendent. I think we all should hear anything that related to those three things and only have special subcommittees on other things. But those three things, I think we all need to. It's really hard at the end of the year to approve a budget when we weren't part of any of that discussion for the whole year to fully understand what we're approving.
So, Mrs. Ainsley would like to do like how we meet for finance instead of meeting separately, that would be in this meeting so that everybody could hear and see what we're saying.
More like a committee of the whole approach, type thing.
Well, that's kind of what this was supposed to be, right? It's
Right,
committee of
but
the whole, but
we have done some different,
we
like,
kind of give the high level version of what we talked about. in the
right, and I
subcommittee.
have been asked by a few members if there would be a way for me to see everything.
Is that, the word subvert's coming to my mind, I don't know if that's the right word, but like, part of the purpose of the committee is that it's less than the majority. So there's no decision making then. Does that change anything then?
Well, we're not making decisions tonight, so like if you aren't on the committee and they're, like, they'll decide who's the chair and who the committee members are, and if you have a question, you can ask a clarifying question, which we have got approved through Google. So it would just be that the finance committee would, everything would be done at this table, so that everybody is seeing and hearing the information. I'm not opposed to it, because I do think that it offers the availability, like, so we get done with finance, and then I call the other members who are there and relay all the information and advise them if you have any more questions, please call Mr. Wade, or ask me, or the superintendent and stuff. I think it would take some of that stuff out of there, and
Yeah, and I'm all about everybody understanding and having all the information. Don't get me wrong, like it just adds more meetings for everybody, right? Like,
well, it would just make this meeting longer. So it would
Or you
be,
just do it all.
like, so tonight how we went into finance, if we would have all those topics at the finance meeting, they would
We would
just
do it
be
then.
here.
Yeah.
So it would make this meeting longer. You're not adding another night, it would just make this meeting a little bit longer.
Yeah, the way I understand it is, like, we're doing both, rather than, like, it should either be the finance committee meets and this work session should have nothing with finance in it, and, like, we shouldn't have it at all, because you guys are doing it, or we should have it here at this work session so that everybody can hear it. I'm not opposed to either way. It's just, we're double dipping, and so everyone's spending extra time on it, because we're doing it in both places.
Yeah, and again, I'm not opposed to it. An alternative could be like, if members want to know more, they could attend those subcommittee meetings.
They can't attend the subcommittee meeting.
They can't.
No, because the subcommittee meetings are only 3.
Only 3, okay. So that's
This
the
is
difference.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, the subcommittee meetings are different. We have to keep that 3, therefore we have a quorum and we're breaking all night.
Right.
So, Mr. Wade, do you want to weigh in at all as treasurer?
Our first year, we did the committees separate. 2021, July of 2021 was the first year, so 5 years ago, was the first of the committee of the whole. Because we had the same, we wanted to hear all of it at once. We get all the information so we all have at the same time to process the information. If we had questions from there, then we would go through the finance chair or the committee chairs, the superintendent, and ask those questions. Since January, so the last 6 months, I think we've gotten, maybe the last year, we've gotten back to where we've been doing more of both. Personally, I would like to go back to the committee of the whole. Yes, it makes this longer, but it's less dates that we have
Just one
on
night.
the calendar. So we can schedule a little better. If we need the extra days, we can do that, which is, I think, why we've done it the last year or so.
We have a finance meeting next month, right?
August
August.
5th or 6th or something.
Okay, I'll speak with Mr. Wood and we'll move that to the table if everybody's in agreement. So it'll be during the work session, just as long as there's an understanding that that is going to add like 45 minutes to an hour to the night. So,
Would everybody have to attend or only if you wanted to?
no, it will be in the meeting, so it'll be on the agenda, an agenda item that'll be at this meeting. So there'll be, it'll be all the stuff that Kathy would have shared at the finance committee, but she'll be doing it here now.
I would just feel much more comfortable approving budgets and knowing, having the whole year to process everything. It's very complicated. Yeah.
It's super complicated, Sherry.
Sherry, have you also looked at the MASB portions? They have
I
some
have, and I
finance.
being interim, I didn't want to take them without being fully committed,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I will be on it for now.
Yeah. Are we saying we're only doing that for finance, or are we doing that across the
Well,
board?
we can, so building and, that would be the next question. Do you want to do that at every level?
I just think the 3, policy, finance, and superintendent search.
Well, hope we don't have to do another.
And 3 weeks, 1 minute.
Really, if you take policy, finance, and all that's left is building site curriculum, we barely ever have
Yeah.
anything. But like,
But if something comes up, you can have a special subcommittee that just dealt with that and reported back. We don't have to sit there for that whole thing, everybody. I mean, even if, say, committee, you can't really say anything or curriculum. We had the band director come to us asking for additional funds. That had to go to finance anyway.
It did, yeah.
So there's a fine line there. Everything goes through finance and policy.
Top 2, yeah.
yeah, that's
So,
pretty typical. in
I
this.
will-
No, I'm not saying it isn't, but
Yeah.
it would be, yeah.
I will say, I think that, I think we have to think through, the policy is daunting. And so if you add policy onto the work session, you're looking at a 3 to 4 hour work session. Just so everybody is aware.
Easy.
Because we meet for policy before the work session for usually 1 hour and go through multiple policies.
And it goes.
We're normally getting done 5 minutes before the meeting starts, and then we can start the work session. So it's just,
So if we saw a lack of policy, like we saw something that needed, we would like a policy on, how would I suggest
so
that?
you would email the policy chair, who's Adam right now,
Okay.
and say, Mr. Acker, I was looking, and this policy seems really outdated, could you please put this on the policy committee radar and have that review? Before the previous superintendent had left, this bond sheet, there's a spreadsheet, I don't know if she shared that with us, okay. There is supposed to be a spreadsheet that Jill and Mrs. Vaughn had started that listed all the policies that we had reviewed in the last like 18 months. And we've gotten through a tremendous amount of policy. So I worry, like I like the idea of bringing things together, and obviously we won't have that much every month on finance to like do all of that, but if you put policy, all the stuff that we do in policy and all the stuff that you do in finance, and then like tonight we're already at what, an hour? Like you're looking at a 3 to 4 hour night.
Okay,
So
can we
everybody
start
else-
with finance?
So we're, huh?
Can we start with finance?
And then that's like I'm saying, some of those work sessions, you have those presenters, I mean, we could easily be here till 11. I don't want to stay that late.
No, I agree. And so I think what we can do is, I think.
Not
we
to
can kinda-
deter anyone's ideas, I just,
I think we can gauge it month to month.
I've got a couple ideas. I think we can-
Great. So I think we'll start slowly rolling into that, and
But I
then
think
that
a
will help.
workshop would help, and I could submit all my questions ahead of time so you're prepared.
That'd be great.
But, I mean,
Plus, everything shared will be recorded too.
yeah.
I do think, Sherry,
So there's that.
the more you learn, like, you're gonna know, have a better idea of what questions you're thinking about ahead of time too, and maybe it's not as daunting or as much of an issue. 'cause-
Right, but being new,
Oh, yeah.
and then having that budget,
Yeah,
it was,
I didn't ask much of any finance questions last year because I just kind of set it aside.
but I'm saying yes, and I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll slowly roll into it, and then whoever's in the president role can work with the superintendent to set the schedule for the month. Like, oh, we have way too much on finance, we're not gonna go through as much policy this month, and then maybe flip-flop it the following month.
Divide and
Does
conquer.
that sound like an amenable
Yes.
idea?
And most of the
I like that.
policy though has been, we've been trying to touch every policy and trying to revise it, make sure it's up to date. There really hasn't been big.
No, a lot of it, and the ones that you guys hit at the table is ones that we've went through, like, sometimes we've reviewed them for 3 or 4 months because we're tweaking and making changes in verbiage and then Neola, stuff like that, so, I think we can make it work that way, so we'll just kind of flip-flop it.
We haven't actually generated any new policy.
We did for, yeah, we did.
The board
There's been a
election
few.
is due. The board election, like our election.
Oh, yeah.
We did,
that-
yeah,
yeah.
we did, for graduation, if you were board member, you did. Graduation. Yeah. So, Here's a couple. Yeah.
yeah. Divide and conquer, yeah.
Any other questions?
The last thing I have is that we,
She's
at a
gonna
meeting
run it, actually, I
previously,
have
you said we were gonna leave the YouTube videos up, and
Oh, yeah.
right now it's currently only showing a month.
So, Mr. Wood, can you check it out with IT?
Yep.
So what we had agreed upon as a board is we would like them to be available on the website for 3 years.
Okay.
And I just don't know how to do that. I'm sure that Colin and Brandon can make that happen, but that was like 4 or 5 months ago, we agreed on that,
Okay.
so we just need to make sure it's done.
Yep.
Thank you. Anything else, Mrs. Bain?
That's all.
I would just like to take a minute to welcome Mr. Wood. I had the opportunity to meet with him weekly. Sometimes we were having daily conversation. Many days we're having daily conversations. I am very, very pleased so far, and he is a workhorse. And I just want to thank you for jumping in full force and tackling a lot of tasks. So thank you and welcome, and looking forward to the next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say one more thing? I know I just want to, I want to feed off what Janelle said. I feel more informed these past 2 weeks after the Friday memos than I have since I've been on the board. So I really appreciate you sharing all that information. I feel like I know what's going on.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, any future agenda items? Mr. Burrow?
It keeps coming up on the radar for twice a year. Can we figure out what we're doing with esports? So
With
that
esports?
Esports.
Yes.
So that
thank
we
you.
can either get it so it doesn't come up anymore, or so that we have a plan.
Had a teacher identified that was interested in doing
Okay.
esports. If you can connect with her to see if that is a program that we can get up and running in the fall.
It was Mr. H out of the middle school.
Yeah.
Mr. H.
Fifth grade, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I'll check with it.
And like, we don't have the equipment to host a team here, so like, we would have that operating cost, but there seemed to be interest in it. And I know that a district near us also has that, so I think it's something where if we're going to do it, I think we need to get all the information together and make a decision if we're going to do it, and if we're not going to do it, then let's stop talking about it every
Agreed.
6 months, so.
I would encourage any of you guys, if there's something that has fallen off the radar during transition from one superintendent to the next, just send Kyle and I an email, so that way we can get it back in the mix.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Ms. Smith?
Mr. Burrow?
I move we end the work session July 21st, 2026 at 7:11 PM.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.